So let me start with something very simple. I got a silver medal in medical school, and I am not going to tell you I was the smartest person in my class because I was not. I'm not going to tell you I had some secret strategy because I did not. And I'm definitely not, gonna tell you that I had random, bursts of motivation that changed everything because the truth is much more boring than that. I was just consistent, not perfect, not extreme, just consistent. Every single day I showed up. Some days were great, some days were average, some days felt completely useless, but I still showed up. And this is where, most people misunderstand success. They think results come from one big effort, but in reality, results come from small efforts repeated daily. And there's actual neuroscience behind this. Every time you study something, your brain forms connections between neurons. These are called synaptic connections. But here's the catch: one time study creates weak connections, repeated study strengthens them. This process is called long-term potentiation. The more you repeat something, the stronger and faster that pathways becomes. So when you study daily, even for a short time, you are literally rewiring your brain. And this is exactly what I did. I did not wait for the perfect day. I did not wait for the perfect mood. I studied daily. Even if it was just a few hours, I made sure I touched my books, because consistency is not about intensity, it's about frequency. Another thing that I did daily was revision. In fact, I revised more than I studied, because studying something once gives you familiarity, but revision gives you mastery. There's something called the forgetting curve. If you study something today, you will forget most of it within a few days if you don't revise. But every time you revise, you reset that curve. You slow down forgetting, and over time the information becomes permanent. So instead of running after new topics every day, I kept coming back to the same topics again and again. And that's why they stayed in my brain during exams. I also practiced writing, not occasionally but regularly, because knowing something in your head is one thing, but expressing it on paper under time pressure is a completely different skill. Writing activates different parts of your brain. It improves recall, structure, and speed. And in medical exams, that matters a lot. So I made it a habit. Even if it was just one answer a day, I wrote it. And yes, I also thought like an examiner. Not sometimes, but regularly. Whenever I studied a topic, I asked myself, if I had to make a question from this, what would I ask? This simple shift changes everything, because now you are not just reading, you are actively engaging with the content. Your brain goes from passive mode to active mode, and active learning always wins. Now let's talk about focus, because consistency without focus is useless. There's a part of your brain called the prefrontal cortex. This is responsible for decision making, attention, and focus. Every time you resist distraction, you strengthen this part of your brain, and every time you give into distraction, you weaken it. So focus is not just a skill, it's something you train daily. I did not keep checking my phone every 5 minutes. I gave myself blocks of time where it was just me and my books, and over time my focus improved. Another thing that helped me stay consistent was routine. Same time, same place every day, because your brain loves patterns. When you repeat the same behavior in the same environment, your brain starts associating that place and time with studying. It becomes automatic. This is how habits are formed. There's a loop: cue, routine, reward. Your study table becomes the cue. Studying becomes the routine, and the satisfaction of completing your work becomes the reward. Do this daily and you don't need motivation anymore. And this did not just apply to studying. I exercised daily too, and this is something most students ignore. Exercise increases blood flow to the brain. It releases something called BDNF, brain derived neurotrophic factor. This chemical actually helps your neurons grow and strengthen. So when you exercise, you're not wasting your time. You are upgrading your brain. Better focus, better memory, better mood. All of this supports your studies. Now, I'm not saying every single day was perfect. It was not. There was days I felt tired, days I did not, feel like studying, days I was distracted, but still did something, even if it was less than usual. I did not break the chain, because once you break consistency, it becomes very hard to restart. And over months, these small daily actions started compounding like interests. You don't see the result immediately, but one day it shows. And when exams came, I was not stressed like others, because I was not trying to learn everything at the last moment. I was just revising what I had already built daily. So if you are watching this and you are, waiting for motivation, stop. If you are waiting for the perfect plan, stop. If you are waiting for the perfect day to start, please stop. Start small, study daily, revise daily, focus daily, move your body daily. Because consistency is not glamorous, but it is unbeatable. This is how I became a silver medalist, not by being extraordinary, but by doing ordinary things every single day. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. Thank you.